My gold digger stepmother threw a tantrum when my dad bought me a car and demanded that I give the car to her, so I told my dad to divorce her. When I was 13, my dad remarried and his new wife moved in with us. From day one, she demanded that I call her mom even though I didn't want to. I talked to my dad, and thankfully he took my side, but she wasn't happy at all. Since my dad wasn't home much, she got permission from him to discipline me whenever I was out of line. If I didn't wash the dishes when she told me to, she would take my phone away and wouldn't give it back until the next day. This one time, I got really sick and was even having trouble standing up, but my stepmother thought that I was faking it and just trying to get off from going to school, so she forced me to put on some clothes and kicked me out, telling me to walk to school by myself. I cried the entire way and somehow made it to class, but fainted immediately because I had a high fever. My dad came home and took care of me, while my stepmother told him a lie about how she was worried and tried to prevent me from going. I tried to tell him the truth, but he didn't believe me and thought that I was just hallucinating, since his wife would never do that. I know this sounds weird, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that whenever my dad did come home, stepmom would demand that he take her on dates and spend time with her instead of me. I really wanted to go out with them and do fun activities with my dad, but at that time, I was just too scared to speak up, so I would end up just staying home while my dad took his wife to see the world. But on my 16th birthday, I finally found the courage to call my dad and talk about what was going on with my stepmom. He still didn't believe me, but I think he realized that he needed to spend more time with me, or we won't have a relationship in the future. So he started taking me out to fishing, and even to some of his business trips. My stepmother didn't like that at all, and often threw tantrums about how I didn't need my dad, but she did. Thankfully, my dad still hung out with me, and we became really close. He assured me that I could stay in his house for as long as I wanted, and didn't have to move out at 18. Like always, my stepmother argued that what he told me was unfair, and the house belonged to her once I was an adult. But my dad quickly shot her down by saying that his son should always stay close to him. Now, I never asked my dad to leave his wife, or try to stir up problems between them, because I saw that he was genuinely happy with her sometimes. But on my 18th birthday, she officially took it too far. I was just relaxing at home, getting ready to leave and hang out with my friends. I thought that my dad was away on business again, and was going to miss my birthday like he did every single year. But out of nowhere, the doorbell rang, and my dad surprised me with a massive cake in his hands. I was about to cry when he shouted, "Happy birthday," and hugged him while saying, "You being here is the best gift, thanks Dad." But he told me to hold my horses, because he had another gift for me. He took me outside and showed me the new Toyota that he had bought for me. I never had an interest in sports cars even though I knew my dad could afford them, and just wanted a simple, reliable car that won't break down. So I was really happy and thanked him a lot. But then my stepmother came storming out of the house, screaming at us to stop. She started going on about how it was unfair that my dad had bought a car for me and not for her. According to her, I was perfectly capable of getting a job and buying my own stuff, and she was the one who needed help. She said that my dad can make this right by snatching the keys to the car from me and giving them to her. When me and my dad refused, she went absolutely ballistic. She grabbed a rock and threw it at the windshield, making a huge crack in it. Then she smirked and said that she would do it again if we didn't do what she had asked. I was about to say something when my dad surprised me by yelling at her and telling her to go inside. It was then that I realized that my stepmother hadn't even wished me a happy birthday and only talked to me so she could snatch away my gift. I also realized that if she cared so little about me, then there's no way she actually loved my dad and not just his money. While she stood there, still demanding that I hand over the car to her, I started making a plan about how to make my dad realize the same thing as me. Thankfully, my dad had changed from when he married her and didn't give in to her demands. When we were alone, I revealed to him all the abuse that his wife had put me through. He asked why I hadn't told him this sooner, but honestly, I don't even know myself. I think it was because I wanted to protect his happiness, but I might have just been scared. I told my dad that this woman was just taking advantage of him and that he needed to divorce her. And he, still reeling from the shock that the woman he married was abusing his son behind his back, stayed silent for a minute before telling me that he'll consider it. However, I know from the look on his face that he no longer wants to be with her. Now, I have to find a way to be there when he breaks the news so I can see